Hi, I'm Stephen H. Harper.
And I'm Brittany.
And I draw the comic and I also write it.
And I do the mobile layout and make sure it gets posted.
Yep. I don't do too well on that, and she takes care of that. So make sure that we get posted on everything, everywhere, and yeah, helps out a lot with that.
Yeah, I do most of the graphic design and the update graphics, messages and things.
And today we are celebrating the end of Chapter 4, going into a hiatus to take a break from things, because we've been going at this a bit frantically for a while now. I think we started back up in March.
It's been a
Yeah,
while.
I think we started back up in March, and I've been just working on it since then in one form, like just trying to keep it going. But now we're going to take a break. We're going to look at the future because we finally finished the point that I wanted it to finish in the story, the end of the chapter. And so now we can look into where we're headed. All right, we're going to answer a few of your questions that you've asked. We put out the QA thing on Discord and we put it out on the comic, and you guys have commented. And now we're going to respond to your comments with the truth, the questions, deep burning questions you have about Novaborn. So let us begin. I have down here, I have carefully curated. By that meaning, I've recorded all of your questions.
They can't see that.
No, they can't. Should they? Should they be able to see it? I can make that happen.
I mean, if you want to make it full screen.
Yeah.
So like you can see all of the beautiful little thumbnails and names of people.
Let's see. Maximize. Oh, okay. Let me just. Okay.
Sorry, we're new at this.
Streaming is weird.
Desktop.
I need to make sure that I copy this, because if I move over to any of these other things, because I set up the audio, but the audio did not copy over. So I'm going to go over to desktop. Paste. And then I'm going to hit this. It's going to fill the entire screen. And we're going to see it on our side thing going over there. And you're going to be able to see us up in the corner there. But we won't be able to see anything. I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
Ice.
He's got to get cool.
Need to cool down. It gets too crazy around here. All right, so let's go through the questions. First question comes from, I'm going to butcher everyone's name. You may say it's not that crazy of a name. And I'm going to say
Otome Bento. That's what I think it is.
Otome Bento. Like a bento box.
Yeah.
What is a bento?
What do you mean, what is a bento? Why are you asking me?
I don't know. Why do they have so many boxes? Why? Otome Bento asks, why are you guys so awesome?
Oh.
I don't think there's really anything we can say to that. Thank you. We just try to make things cool, and we try really hard to make Novaborn happen. Even if it's not always perfect, it still happens. And sometimes it's the best you can do. Art that exists is infinitely better than art that doesn't exist. And
Yep.
There's been lots of times when we've wanted to quit, and we don't, because we want to create, we want to put Novaborn out there. So
This is our passion.
yep. And it's been a wild ride. Second comment or question comes from Ray
From Discord.
from Discord. Otome Bento is also from Discord.
Yeah.
Ray is very active in our Discord. Hi, Ray.
Hi, Ray.
One question. How long do you spend on each episode on scripting and then in drawing? Here we go. Okay. Gonna open this up.
Guys are about to see the craziness.
Whoa. Oh, okay. Oh, no, it's not opening the way I want it to. Oh, no! Let me
Wanting it to zoom in.
get out of that. That's not what I was hoping for. Okay, so this is the drawing process. This isn't the writing process.
Yeah.
To talk about the writing process, I think about different ideas all the time of what I want to do with the story, what I want to do with the characters. I then will write up something. I'll write through like a story section. Just plot points. Just things I want to have happen that lead from one thing to another. And then I either say, okay, that doesn't make sense. I don't like how this is going. This seems slow and boring. Something like that. And then we go through redrafts. By the time I actually get down to writing the dialogue and writing the scenes, it's usually going to be like, what I write down there is pretty close to what's going to actually happen, because I've already done the scene 12 times in my brain, and I'm not going to let it happen until I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
And Brittany isn't going to let it happen
until I like it.
Yeah. Because I'll go through it and I'll write and I'll type and I'll type and I'll type and then I'm like, all right, done. I don't want to look at it. I know it's not perfect. And then Brittany will.
And I'll tear it apart to make sure it's.
Well, let me
good.
take a look. No,
I'm like,
that's
this
dumb.
doesn't make sense.
That's dumb. That's not even a sentence. What are you even saying? But like, the core of what I'm trying to get is there.
I don't quite say that's dumb. I say,
obviously,
this doesn't really make sense. Maybe we should explain this a little bit better, or this is perfect the way it is, being ambiguous. Because sometimes things are fine. You want to have questions. But sometimes you're like, nah, this is a bit too nebulous. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I make sure that you have good grammar.
Yeah.
Goodish grammar. I'm not perfect.
Because me know English.
My mom was a teacher,
always.
so she made sure I knew grammar very well.
Yeah. And, like, people speak in improper grammar an awful lot. And
so I let things slide a lot.
Yeah. But it's
especially with Dark Hell.
Yeah. It's one of the things that I've learned as I've been learning to write is writing a book is a lot harder than writing a comic, because with a comic, I don't even write most of the details. Most of the details are in my head, and they don't come out until the actual page is there. The emotion of the characters, the setting that they're in, that's not there until it's actually being drawn, which is one of the problems with working with other artists, because I'd be like, it needs to be like this. And then they're like, but why? And then I have to go through the entire script and be like, okay, but this needs to be there, and this person's actually feeling this emotion during this scene. And I've even managed to mess up some scenes where I wanted it to feel a certain way. And at the end I go, no, that didn't work. That wasn't what I wanted, how I wanted that scene to end. So, I mean, that's art. There's always that thing that's in your head and what you actually want to create. And you're like, that's not what I was making. Speaking of which, here's the art making process. Okay, so the question was, how long? And for the script, I can't tell you. A long time. A lot of times thinking about it. Tale of Inferna has gone through a lot of redrafts. Surprisingly, a lot of it was to make Inferna more likable. She's kind of a jerk. In earlier drafts of the script. So,
and certain characters were very evil.
Yes.
And they've been made more human.
Everyone's very one-dimensional and not very likable.
In the original script in your head.
Yeah. As I had imagined it. And it took a whole lot of learning about things and how to make characters better. So that takes a long time. Script takes a long time. Coming up with the initial ideas, it takes a long time. For a
Might need to-
page...
Might need to put this over here on the side
Okay.
so we can see it. There we go.
All right. So for a page from beginning to drawing to making it takes 2 weeks so far. Although there's been some ways I've been able to speed this up, and we'll talk about that. First up, I draw very rough sketches. Sketches so rough that if someone else were to look at it, they're going,
Yeah, you probably
What
don't
is
know
that?
what that is.
like, that's supposed to be, like, what it's supposed to be is Inferna reaching at her hand, and her other hand's there. And then, like, as you can see in the bottom one, like, as you can see in the bottom one, that's not what happened. I made it so their hands aren't touching. In fact, I didn't even have a second hand. No. Yeah.
Where did the hand go? Does the hand come in the next one?
No. I'm just going to double check to make sure. Okay, we are still recording.
Yep.
We are getting in the sound. That's good. Okay, so I had the basic rough, and I rough out the entire page of this, and that doesn't take too long. The posing of the models is quicker than what we did before, which still isn't great. So what we did before was this. Once it opens up, I posed physical models by hand.
You'll want to put this, like, here.
Yeah. So, yeah, I posed physical models by hand for every single scene. And that it does help a lot learning from that, because you're getting the perspective, you're getting the lighting, all of those principles are being put into it. But these models aren't very realistic. Real human beings are not automaton segmented robots. At least none of the ones I know. So
I don't know. I'm sometimes a robot.
Robot.
Yep. I sometimes sound like a robot.
Yeah. Sometimes we all just are a little bit robot.
I
So
work with someone who sounds like a robot.
So when we got Clip Studio Paint, they had the model posing, which is great, but it's also not the best. It's not perfect. And so it does take a bit more time than I'd like. There's some other programs that do it better, and we'll talk more about that as we talk about the future. Next up, I do a sketch, and I used to do this on my tablet, which I now do everything on my tablet because Clip Studio Paint is finally on Android.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! And it is, like, it's not one of those dumbed down versions. Like, it has everything in there. I don't want to pose the models in there because it's really unruly. Like, the models are really hard to pose already. But I can do the drawing on the tablet because it's, when you can see something and you can draw, that's way better.
Yeah.
So
How long do you think it takes to sketch it?
So I then move on to the line art, and this is like the more cleaned up line art. I am moving away from this. I want to do a bit more rough sketch line art, just because it feels a bit more lively, a bit more real. I find the hard lines feel a bit
Too
staunch.
traditional? Yeah.
It's not really the feel that Novaborn
Static.
Yeah, it's not the feel that Novaborn ever had. The big art style I'm trying to copy or to emulate, to learn from, is
Yeah.
She's done the vast majority of the comic, and it's Novaborn's style, for being real. So I'm trying to emulate her style as much as I can. I'm learning from how she drew. I'm also learning from how she colored things, and I'm using those to make it to as I learn to become an artist.
Oh, you do have the coloring on here.
Yeah. So this takes me the first week getting to this point.
Yeah. Takes a long time.
Yeah, this is. I don't work 8 hours a day on it, but I do work. I'd say 4 to 6 hours a day, maybe 8 hours some days. It depends. It's different.
It takes a lot of mental energy.
It does take a lot of mental energy, especially when you're making it and you have this, like I said, it's that idea in your mind, and then you go to make it and you're like, I've just spent so many hours on this, and I've dreamed about these stories and how they're like the impact of this is going to come through, and this is what it looks like. And it's that in like just there's no winning.
It's not bad, it's just not exactly what you saw in your mind.
Yeah. And it never will be.
Yeah.
Which is why I said art that exists is infinitely better than art that doesn't exist. Because you just got to move on. You just like there's been parts I've been thinking, I'm like, "Oh, I should redo old pages." And I'm thinking that now. My art isn't good enough to replace like to be a continuation of the previous artists yet. So maybe I do plan on doing it, but maybe I won't, because I need to move on. I have the rest of Tale of Inferno to tell. There's just so much more to get to, and
more stories you want to tell as well.
Yeah. And if I keep going back trying to like, ooh, perfect this, and I'm just going to get stuck in that. So the first week is line art. And sometimes line art are getting to line art. But sometimes line art actually bleeds into the color week. And I think it's mostly because it's all like I'm finally getting to see like what the end product will look like, but adding color takes the life out of me. It's been getting better recently, but generally speaking, when I add color, that's when I'm just like, oh no, this isn't like it isn't coming up to the vision that I want. Even though like I've learned a bunch of techniques to make it look a lot better, certainly than when I started it, because
you've been making a lot of progress.
Yeah. I think it was like the first page I did. I didn't even do the shading on that. You did the shading, right?
Yep, I did the shading on the first page.
Yeah, because I was like, I hadn't taken a drawing course I took a painting course in university, but it had been a while, and I didn't quite remember shadows and all that, so I didn't have the mind frame to do that. But I've watched a lot of tutorials online on shading since then, so been able to improve. So
that's just the flats, by the way.
Yeah, that's the flats, and then that's adding in the shading, which is fairly light in this one.
That was one of your earlier ones.
Yeah.
You've gotten better at it.
Yeah, and I get a bit more confident with things. Okay, so I think I'm doing the mistake. Yeah. So what I'm doing here is what you're supposed to do with a shadow is a shadow is going to be it's going to be a certain color, and it's all going to be a certain color. And you take a multiply layer and you...
color dodge layer.
Color dodge. No, multiply.
Or a multiply.
Color dodge makes everything brighter.
Color burn, sorry.
Yeah. Color burn or a multiply layer, and you make things darker in a specific shade, and you make everything there. There's some exceptions.
You use a very desaturated color when you do this.
Yeah. So like a shadow under your chin is going to be a little bit red because it's getting in like the color of your skin, but like
here
also
it's kind
the
of
light.
Bluish.
Because we're under blue light.
Yeah.
And like it depends on your light source, and that's what the color of your shadows are going to be. What I was doing was I was clicking on the item and then just painting with that color. So I had
painting with a darker color. Yeah.
No, in some cases I'm literally just painting with the same color.
Oh,
that's why it's so bad. Yeah, like I'm using.
Yeah, you have to use a different color. It looks very flat.
Yeah, and like halfway through the fight scene with Anthus, when in the No-Born one is when I started doing that, and that was like the first page. People are like, "Hey, the art's actually getting better," and I'm like, "Huh."
I think that answers that question. We should
Yes.
probably move on to the next question.
So it takes about 2 weeks. However, if I do multiple pages at a time, it goes quicker.
Let's move these.
If I do all the line art, if I do all the the setups and I set all the mannequins all at once, I do multiple pages, it goes quicker. So that was a big question, but I really wanted to get into that question.
I'm just moving it so that you guys can see it because I think we might have been
blocking
it.
No.
Yeah, we were blocking it.
Okay.
That way we can see Otome, Bento, and Rei, and everyone else's name who we're going to go through next.
All right, do you want to read out the next question?
Sure. Anonymous the Best asks, and this was on Webtoon, what's everyone's favorite colors? And I'm assuming you're meaning the characters.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's a personal, that tells you about them, So let's go through it. Let's do
Avax.
What color? Avax the best. What's her favorite color?
Hang on, I have to bring up a picture of Avax. Oh, how do I get out of here? Let's grab a picture of Avax. My best bud Avax. I created her. She's mine.
Favorite color?
Pink.
Yeah, she's always wearing pink.
Yeah.
That's part of the effort to get people to understand she's a girl. But she is always wearing pink, and it does go quite well with her orange.
Yeah.
All right.
And she's got this new cute little outfit that I designed. Because people kept thinking she was a boy because she has an open shirt, like an open vest.
She's a fox creature.
But she's a girl.
Yeah.
She's so sweet.
Yeah, she's far
and
more
silly and cute.
When it came to designing the alien creatures, we always had the idea of it's not a human. It's not even close to a human. It is a...
Yeah. It's not a human turned into an animal. It's an animal who has evolved to walk on two legs.
Yeah. So you don't take in the human anatomy at all. So yeah, that's our thought process behind.
Do you have any pictures of the other characters?
Kingston, or are you talking about
on your computer? Because I didn't put any.
No. Well, if you go in there, you will find nothing but spoilers. So don't. No. Mm-mm.
You were supposed to put them into another folder.
Wait. You're right. There was something.
There we go.
I don't know what that one is. So we'll just click there. What's Anthus's favorite color?
Blue.
Blue skies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I won't go any further with that.
What's Arlen's favorite color? Purple.
Black like his heart. No, purple. Purple.
I'd say it's purple.
Yeah. Royal.
We already had Avax.
Banis.
His favorite color is totally blue too, because he's always wearing blue.
Yeah.
He loves blue.
Him and his brother probably would have gotten along better if they'd, life hadn't been weird.
Yeah.
Darkel's favorite color is it doesn't matter. He
probably wouldn't tell you.
He's like, it doesn't matter. Color, whatever.
Why would that matter?
Anything that doesn't...
Colors are colors.
Anything that doesn't draw attention.
pretty much brown, yeah.
Inferna. It's red.
Yeah, and Fern's favorite color is red.
Mm-hmm.
She likes wearing that red sash.
Yep. Which is a house color.
Although she does have like her favorite green sweater.
It's true.
Green hoodie.
But that's just comfy. Like, people wear sweaters from places that they didn't even go or that they don't even care about. But it's just comfy. It's a sweater. Keeps you warm. The boy.
The mysterious boy.
Spoilers on the name there. I guess that doesn't matter, but I'll just. Oh no, that doesn't work.
He tried to cover it with his hand.
There we go. You'll never guess what his name is.
It's not like you can't go back and look at it.
No, I'll edit it in the future, and that'll make it correct in the past.
Sneaky.
His favorite color is darkness.
Whatever hides him from the shadow in the shadows.
The shadows. No, shadow is his favorite color.
I don't know. He wears a lot of purplish blue.
That's true.
But that's just to keep himself hidden in the shadows.
His favorite color is shadows. Write that down.
Avax is here.
You need to create. I was to hide his name. Oh, there we go. Ah.
Okay, I fail at this.
Okay.
How do we click the next button if... Okay, the name is fine now.
Sanren, who will be getting a redesign. A little bit.
Trying to hide them.
Sanren. What would be his favorite color?
I mean, he's also always wearing blue. But it's more of a darker royal blue. Whereas the others... Well, let's see. Banis would like a darker blue. And... Anthus likes a more light blue, like sky blue.
Sky blue.
You can tell that we like blue.
Yeah.
Because all our characters like blue.
I think Sanren likes green as a color, but obviously it just doesn't work with his feng shui. Green's a hard color to pull off.
Most people don't wear green shirts. It's just not a normal color. Yeah. Especially in medieval times, you wouldn't be wearing green.
Yeah. And that comes down to where they get it, which is why purple is a royal color, because it's so
rare.
Expensive. Made from crushed oyster shells.
Steven knows a lot about this stuff.
Ship.
That's the 3D model of the...
What is favorite color of ship?
Favorite color of ship is white. Because it is white ship, and brown with the wood.
We could keep going through other characters, but I think we've answered that one enough.
All right.
Are
those cookies fresh baked? Yes, Avax cooks fresh cookies every single morning. Okay. It is her thing. She loves cookies. Why? Because I love cookies.
So I agree. She bakes. But the question with this is, which cookies was he talking about?
What do you mean, which cookies?
Are those cookies?
Avax? Are those the cookies Avax baked?
When have cookies showed up in the comic?
With Avax, right?
Yes.
That's like the only place.
But what does she get them out of?
She gets them out of a jar.
Yes.
But she puts them in there because it's the cookie jar.
You don't put fresh baked cookies in a jar. Those are cookies that you baked an excess of cookies for the day, and these are your spare cookies for when... I'm saying they're not out of the oven, so they could be from that day. And she didn't realize that today would be the day that Inferno woke up, so she put them in a jar.
She probably just keeps extra cookies.
Yeah, she definitely has a supply. She has a stash.
That's true. But she does love baking, and she loves making her own clothes.
Mm-hmm. All right, so are those cookies fresh baked? Yes. Inferna, what socks does she wear? Boots without socks is Blister City. And
that is true.
This is from Blister. This is from Lazy Reader. Our biggest fan over on Topass.
Pretty much our only fan on Topass.
Hey, we got some others.
He's the only one who comments.
He's the only one who asks questions. Oh, no, that's not true. Magic Octopus asked on there too, but we'll get there later. But okay. Yes, respect to the Topass people.
We do see Lazy Reader a lot on there.
Yeah. Inferno, what socks do you wear? So I looked this up, and they'd actually be pretty high. They'd go up to like the ankle.
Your ankle? That's your knee.
Yes, that's what I was
He was
thinking.
pointing at his knee and he said ankle.
I was thinking of calf. So
And also, they can't see your knees.
that's
so
true.
That
I had to think of it from a brain. So yeah, they go up there, and they would be
knees.
red. Because she can afford them.
What fabric would they be? Wool? Cotton? What did they have in medieval times? Felt?
Had a lot of wool, but that was to keep you warm. They did have cotton. Didn't have silk.
Yeah, because that came from
The
Asian
Silk Road.
countries.
Yeah, China.
China.
Well...
We also have to remember Novaborn is not Earth.
No. And trade would be a lot more, but she wouldn't have silk socks. I doubt those are even comfortable. I'll be honest. I don't think silk's actually that comfortable. It's just expensive and shiny.
It's
my
It's
opinion.
nice and cool.
But that's for another...
And it protects you if you get shot with arrows.
Yeah.
Because the silk doesn't break, so then you are able to pull out the arrow with the silk.
Obviously, that's
So if you ever get an arrow in you, make sure you are wearing silk.
Before you get an arrow in you. Think ahead. Or like me, you think ahead, so you then go back into the past and change the past for the future. Like I'll
We should have had a
video.
picture of Inferno, but oh well.
I hope they know what she looks like. What are some of Inferna's fondest memories of her older brother? This is from
Let's just bring
Anne
that picture of Anthus back up.
Nylon.
Oh wait, no, it's already up somewhere in here. Which one of the? I closed it. Hold on. No,
No.
that's not her brother. Anthus. Keep mixing them up sometimes.
Anthus. Fondest memories. So this one's...
Who was that from?
This one's a tough one.
That was from In Nylon. Did you already say that? Nylion?
Yes. And Nylion. Nylion?
Nylon.
Nylion. And Nylion. Because there's too many L's. And Nylon.
Anyways.
Leon. I don't want to give something that's just sort of, oh, it was this one time when they went off and they did this. Oh, you weren't there, but it was super fun. I don't really want to say something like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write a short story about this, and I'm going to make this one actually free. So it'll be during the hiatus. So you'll have to be like subscribed to our Patreon or like subscribe for notifications. You don't have to pay for it, but you have to be notified for it. And
So go follow us on Patreon. You can follow us for free.
yeah, and then you'll get the notification when
We'll also
that story's
notify
up.
people on Discord that, hey, you can go find it here.
Yeah, and we'll share that story when it happens, because I don't want to just make up, oh, it was this time they went out to get ice cream and then someone dropped their ice cream and they laughed and laughed and oh, you should have been there.
He wants some time to think about it.
Yeah. Obviously, stories take time, and I can you can write good stories quickly, but the vast majority of stories written quickly aren't going to turn out perfectly well. Not as well as they could be.
He's gonna hide off on the corner here as we look at the next question. Yeah, that's their name.
Are there places just like this, but give other powers like water? or earth, etc.? If so, is it possible to collect different powers, and are there different trials to get them?
That's a good question.
So there's a lot loaded into that, and the first thing that I need to say is we may have taken some elements from Avatar: The Last Airbender,
But not everything.
like a good artist, we didn't take it whole cloth.
Mm-hmm.
We took the elements that we liked, and we didn't take the elements that we didn't like. So, for instance, Avatar, you are born special, or you're not. That's it. This similar thing with Star Wars and a bunch of other things. You're a wizard, Harry. Like, that's it. I'm losing my voice. I need to take a cough drop. Knew that would
Our
happen.
powers are a bit different in that.
They're not elemental.
Yeah, they're not elemental. They're based off of, can I tell them?
Yes.
Energy. They're based off of types of energy. And so fire is not actually fire. It is heat. They are creating heat.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many powers surrounding. I'm not going to tell you the exact ones because that's spoilers, but they're all something to do with energy.
Vast majority of them in the human domain are heat. We do know that there is a healing type of energy with the Glex on their home planet.
I'm opening up all these pictures. We've got
Kind of a life
healing
force
shards, fire shards, the Glex who have the healing shards on their planets. Well, they have these green, healing shards.
Mm-hmm.
The orange healing shard you see Bannis take in the beginning, not from the Glex home planet.
Yeah.
But the green potions that you see on Darkel's ship, those are from the Glex home planet.
Yeah, it's the difference between the stuff you'd get at, like, your cough drops versus your heal everything juice. As you get from the hospital.
You have to have pretty strong potions to heal, gunshot wounds, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Bannis, he just had a bruise on his eye. Didn't need super potent stuff.
So, healing or life force, that is one power. We have heat or fire for Inferna. If you read today's, which you should probably do it.
Yeah.
You know that there's a new one, and that is also a power.
It is a type of energy.
Yeah, it's energy.
It's probably the purest type of energy.
Yeah. And each one of these have their own drawbacks. I don't think I want someone to be able to have to pick and choose, like, oh, I want this one and I want this one. I don't think that we're going to go down that route of being able to do it that way. But there's lots of different things that you can do with particular powers. There's some universal aspects, but then there's also some things that are unique.
For instance, everyone who's Novaborn has a shield. Let me see if I can find the shield shards. That was a gravity shard, entwining shard, energy shard. Oh goodness, atmosphere shard. Yeah, I don't have a.
Brittany lost
shield
some
shard.
of her pictures.
Oh no, the shield shard is right here. It's
in the shield.
It's inside the shield because it actually bolsters the shield so that it not only blocks physical attacks, but it also blocks energy attacks.
Yeah. So the shield is kind of an aura that goes around the individual who's become Novaborn, which means you can shoot them with an energy weapon and they'll be like, "Fool, I brought a sword and you brought a measly gun to this fight. Guess who's going to lose?" Which was our solution to trying to bring in ranged combat, because we designed this as a video game. And so the universe is very much built on that idea of it's a video game universe. But we wanted to make sure it was a universe that made sense. where all of these things, like, there's some things that obviously aren't going to translate perfectly, but a lot of it translates well into being a video game. Every art form you're going to make some changes. Like whenever there's a painting, it's always assumed that like there's like nothing going on this side of the room, and everyone's just up against this wall. Like that's the nature of art. There's going to be a few things that are changed for the sake of the art form. I am losing track of what we were talking about. So the question is, are there different trials? And the answer is no. All of these powers come from those giant crystals, which are the Nova. And to become Nova born, you have to touch the crystal. And
not just touch the crystal, you have to be prepared beforehand. Because if you never prepare your entire life and you just go up to the crystal and touch it, odds are you're going to burst into flames.
Yeah, and that's being prepared mentally to go through that trial, to be able to overcome it. And that comes down to your, how you are in your mind, is being prepared to overcome that challenge. And I wanted it to be not a good and evil thing, because evil people can often be a matter of perspective, which is something I want to, like, there are evil people, but then every villain is the hero of their own story, even if they're just straight up evil. And
they believe they're doing the right thing, or at least doing something that will benefit themselves and the people they love.
Mm-hmm. So, yes. So yeah, everyone has to touch a Nova. There's different energies, and that can lead you into wild speculation there. Can you go down to the question? I want to make sure I'm getting all of it. Are there any places like that, but given other powers, it's possible to collect different powers, and are there different trials? So all the same trials, different powers, can't have multiples. And we can talk a bit more about Novas another time, or a bit more in depth at another time. But that's our next question.
My Luna Chase Doal.
Dwal. Luna Chase Dwal.
How does Bannis find out he was adopted?
That's going to be another short story. The question is, of course, who told him? Did he figure it out on his own? And what is the backlash from that? And that's too perfect not to make into a short story, because there's drama there.
You guys are giving us great ideas.
Mm-hmm. With that one in particular, I can say he found out after the story, after the story in the beginning of the story. So like there's the bedtime story.
Yeah, he didn't know at the bedtime story time.
But he knew after that. So
once Inferna woke up from that sleep, he knew. Not at that moment, but sometime in between the two.
In the several years that had passed, he found out.
It's like like 10 years had passed. I don't know. They were like, the oldest was like 8, and then he was 18.
So 10 years.
So yeah, 10 years.
He was 6 at the time of that story. So. All right, Magic Octopus once again on Topass. Tick. Is it just Topass now?
It's Topass now, but
whatever.
It used to be Topastic. Now Topass, which is Spanish for snack, by the way.
Which makes it very hard to search. I did a video on that.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that video, it's called Webtoon versus Topass.
It is doing very well, and I might actually make some more videos. It's actually been like a year since I put that up, so maybe I should do more.
Yeah. A lot of people want to know how to make comics and stuff, so.
Especially as doing stuff at home is becoming more and more popular. And people have more free time, and they're like, I want to set my life to do something. And it's like, all right, here's the information you need to know in order to tell a good story.
Anyways, Magic Optico... wow.
What is this strange word?
Octopus. Magic Octopus says, I'd like to know about the different species that make up this world.
So we have the Glex.
So I am the one who designed all the species, by the way.
I designed one of them, but we're not talking about that one.
I'm not the best artist in the world, but these are my drawings. We've got the Ankleo. Also, it's not technically this world, it's this universe.
Yeah, because there's different planets.
Yeah. This guy comes from the Ankleo planet. These guys are these wise old grizzly dudes who like to... Am I giving away spoilers?
How are they all old?
They're not all old, but like I designed them to have like these like beards that could grow or something. I don't know.
Yeah. They're a slower race. So, which is why...
Well, you kind of came up with the backstory for them. I just sort of drew them.
Pretty much, well, the humans were the first ones to really start colonizing space or conquering space. But they like just started arriving on planets. Every planet that has life on it has a nova crystal on it. So the air is just as breathable as it is on any other planet, and generally they're safe from, the germs.
Another species.
Here's
the Nyari.
But they're like most civilizations were boosted up technologically wise by the arrival of the Cyridithians, although some of them did not.
Some of them discovered their own novas, like the Nyari.
Yeah, we've seen 2 Nyari recently. We are going to be seeing some more. They are an entire empire.
By the way, the Nyari's name is Nya, which is Japanese for meow.
And
they are cat people. Also, their ears are not this big. This was a earlier concept. In fact, this character, she used to have 2 tails, but now she only has 1 tail.
We really lowered the size of the ears because
it's a bit insane. These
being a bit
massive
extra.
Ears.
And then like the 2 tails, I'm like, I don't really think the 2 tails work. And she's like, no,
I
need them.
Try to make a 3D model with 2 tails, and I'm like, yeah, no, 1 tail is fine. They were huge pain.
That recording of the Nyari walking.
I had that on my computer. You should have told me.
Oh. There's always next time.
Yeah, there's always next time.
At the end of chapter 4. All right. No, you already went that way. All right, I guess there's the Mirka. They have a big long history. I am going to be writing up because we're actually owing this one. We actually owe the history of the Mirka to our patrons. Sorry about that. It's been a little nuts. Which is why for the next few months, if you sign up on Patreon, you will get everything for your tier, and you will get that for the joining cost. But we're going to be posting content on there, regardless. So if you're already on there, you're still gonna get that content, especially that new content.
Yep.
So if you're interested in that, it's there.
Couple months of free stuff.
Yeah.
Well, not technically free because you have to pay for the starting fee, the joining fee. And then once we come back with the comic, you'll be paying monthly.
Yeah, but then you'll be getting the comics. So That's what you're really here for. Yeah, we'll talk more about them.
We got the Kekerak.
Which we've seen
was a
and
very
heard.
early-
We've heard from one of the Kekeraks. We've met one. He didn't seem too friendly.
Yeah,
We have a 3D model of him, don't we?
we do. Didn't have time to grab one.
Yeah.
Grab a picture of it.
We'll talk about 3D models later. We'll talk about Kekeraks. Kekeraks is the next one after
After Nyari.
Nyari that we'll be talking about. I think that's it.
Bird people.
Where's the bird people?
Right there.
Bird people, and we'll I'm still working out stuff about the bird people. But did you know the bird people are in the comic?
Yes, the bird
Yes.
people are in the comic.
Do you know where? It's not very well drawn, so that'll help you sort out which pages it's in.
It's
if you're looking for
the
it.
page where she lands on Orthanam,
Yep.
and he's just there in the background with a Gleck.
Selling to a Gleck.
Selling fruit to a Gleck. And
Gleck's
Gleck
just
looks
like,
super excited to see all the fruit.
It's like the fruit. One of the things I wanted to do, and I do want to do this more, is it's important for a universe to feel alive. It feels like there's a lot of fantasy out there where it feels like the only thing that matters in the entire universe is what's happening to the main character. And I don't know if you really notice, but like it's not like that in real life. Like there's things that happen that can affect you as a main character in your story, in your life, but everyone else has their own thing going on. And that's what makes it feel so much more real, is when there's more things going on. That makes it infinitely more complicated, but it feels more real when, you know, they aren't at the center of the universe.
How do I view thumbnails? Hold on. Show me pictures. Yes, there we go. So I'm gonna look for.
I don't
Because,
have it.
you
It's
know,
not on
there are other species that aren't sentient. Well, I mean, they're sentient. They're just not. They can't talk. They're like cats and dogs.
I don't think I have
Where is
it.
the market scene?
I don't think I have it.
What do you mean you don't have it?
That was after a hiatus, and yeah, that's when. Yeah, I don't have it.
Do you have the scene with the dragon dog in the background?
Nope.
When they were on the space station?
It's on the website, but it's not here.
You guys can look it up.
Yeah, it
The
exists on the
marketplace
internet.
page, there's a bunch of animals. There's the phoenix cat. You guys love the phoenix cats. And there's dragon dogs. There's some little dragon puppies in the background on the marketplace page. There's a rabbicorn. That's a rabbit unicorn kind of thing. There's a weird parrot. I don't know what the parrot is. Sujung took some creative liberty and put like a bird in there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else there was. There was a velogriff. You saw the velogriff. That was the horse type animal, which is related to griffins. And yes, there are griffins. And yes, there are dragon wolves. And yes, there are Pheolians, which is phoenix lions. There are lots of creatures in this world.
I'm just doing one last quick check because
I forgot to add pictures of those from my computer.
big world. Big world. Lots of different races and creatures, and yeah, we have fun. Can't make our any Star Wars for ourselves, so we'll just make our own Star Wars.
Yeah.
I didn't word that correctly, but you know what I mean.
Then we have Cyrodithean oxes, which are essentially just oxes, but with fun little colorations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to show those pictures. I forgot.
So many things, but that concludes.
Oh, I should show this picture. I forgot to show this
Oh,
picture.
yeah. There's the height chart.
So we can see some of the different heights of the different creatures. Humans, Nyari, Kekerak, Gleck. Gleck's really short.
Short little pudgy dudes.
And Nyaris, they're like 4 foot tall for the most part. Obviously, their ears kind of bring them as tall as humans, but they're a little bit shorter than humans. And obviously, each creature has like a range of different
Well, they
heights.
got those bow legs too. So
For instance, Dark Hell is actually a very tall Mirka. I believe I have a picture of Dark Hell in here. Dark Hell versus the regular Mirka. Dark Hell, this is the normal Mirka, slender, tall. And this is Dark Hell.
This is the same picture.
It's the same sort of picture, but the face is different.
Yeah.
I didn't really make his body. Obviously, in the comic, his body's way bigger.
Yeah.
I just changed his face, but he's
broad-chested.
Yeah, big.
From lifting crates his whole life.
Yeah. Whereas most Mirkas spent their lives a long time ago digging in the ground, so like a meerkat.
Mm-hmm. Underground. And that completes our Q&A. It's so glad to be able to have everyone asking their questions. We are excited about how awesome our fan base is. Even though it's such a little tiny one, you guys are great. And we love it when you make comments. And
Tiny. It's like 22,000 people. I can't even
That's
imagine.
right.
I can't even imagine that many people. Like, thank you guys. So many people love our comic, and that is so exciting.
That's a lot of people.
I mean, I was excited when we got our first 1,000. I didn't ever think we'd get to this point, so thank you guys so much.
You guys are awesome.
Also, look at our awesome little cats here.
There are
Sleeping.
3 in a
Three
row.
cats sleeping on the couch.
I
You gotta
can't-
move. You gotta move. Show them the cats.
Well,
Oh, I guess this is...
that's delayed, and so
that
it's
is
going to
delayed.
take me a while to finally catch up with what you're saying.
Oh.
Squish, squish, squish.
Come here.
It is taking a long while.
Come here, Aurora.
Yeah, they saw all 3 before I even moved.
Mouser, I like how Mouser is just dead. He did not move at
He's
all.
always like that. He doesn't care.
Aurora, come here.
She don't care. None of the cats care.
They care.
Nobody cares. Anyway, thank you for asking your questions. And now, it is time for us to talk about the future. That
future
great
of
big
Novaborn.
unknown thing that we are constantly moving towards. And we find it best to move forward with a plan. So, let's talk a little bit about the future. So the big thing right now, we have finished with the end of chapter 4. I would really consider it like the end of episode 3 or 4
We need
of like 4 seasons.
Which one was it? Talk? Yep.
Of like 4 seasons of Novaborn. If Novaborn was a TV show. Let's compare it to Avatar. So we're in like 3 or 4 episodes into book 1. Season 1. And now we got to do more. But the problem is, it's been like 3 years. 2015?
2015, that was like 5 years ago.
No,
It's
2017.
2020 now.
2017 is when we started this comic.
Yeah, 2017 is when we started the comic. 2015 is when we started making Novaborn.
Yeah. So, with that said, we need to make it faster. There's a couple things we're doing to do that. I am unable to do other jobs. I can...
Because he's allergic to heat.
Yes, I'm allergic to heat. It makes me itchy, which is why I went out to get ice block,
Other side.
because I'm allergic. It's a humidity thing. It's due to stress induced. Basically, if I go anywhere where it's really dry and really hot, where normally you get a little bit itchy, I get insanely itchy and I can't even concentrate on anything because I'm just trying to stop myself from scratching all over. So I need to be working at a desk in a
Cooled area.
well-cooled, well-humid area,
A
which is
controllable area.
controlled environment. I don't know what this means for me traveling, visiting people. If it's in the summer is going to be humid in most places I go. I got this at the start of 2020 due to stress. I wonder why.
Yeah, it's been a very stressful year.
Yeah, and we had a lot of things going for us
I'm
at
sure
the
it's
beginning.
been very stressful for a lot of you too.
Yeah. We had a lot of things going for Novaborn at the beginning that were going to hyper accelerate things, and then they didn't pan out, as 2020 didn't pan out. So I was very stressed about that, and that's when I developed this things. Thankfully, Brittany has been able to
Get a job
and to support us. So we're
we
doing
are
all
climbing
right.
our way out of debt right now. From
We are
over
no longer
a year of him being out of work. So
yeah. We're surviving right now. But that means that I need to and I can go all in on the comic. But if I'm drawing every day, if I'm doing nothing but drawing, it still takes about 2 weeks to create a page. I want to have 3 pages a week. Maybe all in one update, so it's not like notification. And
it's all one big chunk that they could read.
people want to binge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want it episodic. They don't want it drip fed to them where there's like, They want big, large chunks. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we had the audio input on this.
Yes, we do. That's the first one we used.
Did we have that on the desktop?
Yes, we did. You copied it over.
Okay. I was having a little panic attack, but I'm not stressed. I'm not allowed to stress.
Okay. You're okay. Anyways, the future of Novaborn.
Future of Novaborn, making it faster. So, right now I have to draw Inferno over and over again, and I have to try and make her look the exact same way every single time. That's silly. Why would I draw her the same way over and over again if I could just create her once and then just change her up?
Poser. Take away the second 2 steps and just do the first 2 or the first
coloration,
1 step.
perspective, all of those things in one.
You'd probably still sketch out the scene to make sure everything is where you want it to be, and then you'd pose it.
I'm just going to double check to make sure I've copied this. We're going to go over to desktop. Okay, it is there.
Yes, it's there.
So we didn't have like an hour of dead.
You checked earlier, remember? Now go back to talk. Oh, right. Desktop.
The future!
Okay, I actually made this 3D model.
Yeah.
But Steven is also learning how to make 3D models.
Yeah.
But essentially we're both sort of going at it. I am the animal expert. So I'm doing the animal characters like Avax, and he is the human expert, so he's doing the human characters. Uh-oh, it froze up on me. That's Steven's computer for you. Should probably...
No, it's the mouse.
Hang on. Let me move her over so that you guys can see her.
Alright, so here we have a 3D model of Avax. Now what you're saying, but Novaborn isn't a TV show or something like that. Does that mean it's going to be a TV show? I mean, maybe someday. Not today. But it means that we have the capacity to have it in 3D, which means when I pose those character models, they are going to be set up for the scene. I can add in a few things myself. I can tweak them and make it look just right, and that'll be able to establish a good art style, a good way that we can create things quickly. Now there's a few hiccups, there's a few differences. We're working through that right now. It doesn't have the sketchy lines. It has more of the solid lines that I was doing. So it's not it's not a perfect solution,
that
but if we could have massive updates of 3 pages a week instead of 1 page every 2 weeks, then it could be worth it. I'm going to start experimenting with it. I'm going to be creating characters using Blender and trying out with these different things. I'm going to be learning from a bunch of different sources to try and create these characters so that they look right.
I got Avax's body here.
Yeah.
Made in, I sculpted it out.
Yeah.
Gonna be converting it to what you see on the head there. Got her bushy tail. Hands aren't quite right, I'll be fixing those.
But the best part is, once we have this done, once we have these made, we can then use them for our video game, for our comic, and possibly I'm thinking of even doing some animated things just to see how it turns out. We'll see what the future holds, but I'm going to be experimenting with this and seeing how it looks. In the meantime, I am still learning how to draw better. The 2 courses, a coloring course and a drawing course that I took as I started this, I am still working on them. I have learned so much. I learned more than I did in university. Well, I mean, they were teaching me how to physically paint, which isn't the most useful skill. Not too many people want physical paints these days. It's a different art form. It's a lot better to have an art form, from a financial perspective, to have an art form that can be transmitted digitally and sold digitally, in my opinion. Those lines scale.
What do you mean, do they scale?
I think the line width is skinnier on the, when you angled it up, it looked like the line width on the arms was skinnier.
Well, I made the line width on, the nose part a little bit skinnier. It's 0.8 width here. Most parts are, 1.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can scale up the line. I have a... where is this? I have a solidify here.
Oh, is that, it's just extruding?
It's essentially the same mesh, but the normals are flipped. See here, we flipped the normals. And then I used a material called outline where we flipped the normals somewhere in here.
Interesting. Well, we'll talk about that later, or we won't talk about that at all, because it's just it's kind of a bit advanced speak for.
Well, essentially all I did was in edit mode when I put them all into this vertex group here, and I assigned a weight to the group, and that essentially made the line thicker, thinner. Or I took away the line here on the eyelashes, and it's a bit thinner on the eyebrow. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Tips and tricks and stuff. It's obviously not finished because you notice she doesn't have her
mouth.
Well, yeah, she doesn't have her teeth, but I'm talking about her coloration. She doesn't have the coloration going down her muzzle and front of her neck. And she also doesn't have the dark coloration on the back of her ears. Those will come in the future. She just hasn't been painted yet. And obviously there's weird stuff going on in the lines here. That'll be fixed up.
But the point is, we're going to try working with 3D models. And failing that, I'll just get real good at drawing so I can draw quicker, which... draw better, quicker, and as I learn to draw better, it is becoming quicker. It's weird. If you gave someone an hour and another person 10 hours, the person who had an hour, if they were a master and the other person was a beginner, the master could do infinitely better in 1 hour compared to a 10 hour. And
very true. That
just comes down to mastering these skills as you learn and progress. But yeah, I think that's the last thing we wanted to talk about is future of what we're planning to do. We'll see about possibly doing some animations, possibly doing some different things as we move forward.
And if we can't use the models entirely, we could at least use them for reference.
Mm-hmm. And that'll be certainly a lot better.
I plan to add some facial expression morph targets in here so that she can do something other than surprise Pikachu face. Shocked Avax face. Just like, what? What's going on here?
Yep. We shall see.
Which, if you look at this side, it's kind of like this emoji picture in here. Oh. I believe she was like, "Are you okay?" Making sure Inferna could see and hear and all that. How many horns do I have on my head?
Anyway, that's all we have for the stream. Thank you for joining us, those of you who did. It's been fun to just talk about things. We grateful for all your questions. Grateful to be able to show you all these things, and we are glad that we're able to make Novaborn and to get it to so many different people and to make a little bit of money on it too. Not too much, but a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Thank you guys so much for your support.
Anyone who has supported us, even by just reading it, thank you. Big thanks to our patrons. You guys are crazy, but thank you for supporting us in this crazy thing that we are doing.
We should probably read out some of our patrons' awesome names.
I don't want to butcher all of our patrons' names because then they'll leave. That is a joke. Or is it? Let me just open up Patreon, and I will list off and publicly thank.
Here, I'll open it up for you. Keep talking.
And we'll list off and publicly thank all of our wonderful patrons as we open up Patreon.
Your phone is slow.
Patrons?
Patrons.
Patrons, top one. No.
You have to click on Relationship Manager to see them. I don't know why.
Okay, and these are all our active ones, right?
Should be.
Okay. Special thanks to Sid Brown, Audra Ward,
Jordan B, Nandan, Faylest, Annalise Kiara, Stephanie Barra, Debbie Tiffany, and Fran Abigail.
One of our...
She was Thane of the Dragons.
Thanks, some of the other people have names, but that's the one we remember. Thanks to everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're tuning in after the facts, thanks for showing an interest.
The other guy's name. He's on Discord here.
Is it Nandan?
No. Well, Nandan's always joining.
We love you, Nandan.
Ooh, someone's playing Genshin Impact. That's fun.
I think that was our...
Unless he's not on here anymore.
No, that's our...
Did he change his name?
I don't know. Well, we listed all of our patrons, so that must be him. But anyway, thanks. Thank you to all of our patrons. And we will speak again when we have something more to speak about.
I guess that's all. Yep.
Yeah. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna regroup ourselves, and we're gonna figure out what's best.
And by break, we're gonna be still working on things.
Yeah, it's just it's like in between seasons, so we're gonna try and figure out how to come back even bigger. So
and better.
More better. All right. We'll talk to you later. This is us signing out.
Bye, guys.